Let everybody take their seat. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Edmonton, and my name is Brandy Moeller-Reed. My pronouns are she and her. I'm your past president. Lauren, I didn't put on my name tag yet. I'm sorry. It's still in my purse. I just realized that. I'll put it on here in a sec. As Unitarian Universalists, we are bound together not by a common set of beliefs, but by our promise to support one another in our individual searches for truth and meaning, guided by our principle and drawing from many sources. We do hope you feel welcome here, whatever you believe or do not believe, whomever you love, however you understand family, whatever age, race, or ability, you are welcome. We invite you to join us in a journey of free thought, spiritual questing, and justice-making for as long as you feel comfortable doing so. We extend a special welcome to our visitors this morning, and we ask you to join us after the service for conversation. To start, we'll start with some announcements, and I know I have a few in the crowd that wanted to speak. Jan. And while Jan comes up, I have one. Casino, it's coming up April 21st and 22nd. That's the Easter Monday, and you guys have done phenomenal in filling all this, or many of the spaces, but I still do have a few evening cashier for both days, count room for both days, and chip runner for Tuesday. So if you have a burning desire to work a casino, come see me after. Also, if you've already signed up for a general manager, cashier, or banker, please come see me. I have a form you need to fill out. Jan.
Good morning. I'm Jan McMillan, and I also have forms to fill out. Mine are more urgent. Therefore, next week, next Sunday, we're having our spectacular lunch, and I have some spaces for salads and some sour cream, easy stuff to make. So if you would like to participate, it would be great, and you're all welcome to stay next week. It's going to be something a little different than our Soup Sundays, and I think it'll be fun. Please join us.
This is Audrey. I just wanted to remind everybody about the transcultural concert this afternoon at 2 with Michael Frischkoff and the University of Alberta Orchestra. There will be Middle Eastern instruments and music and Ukrainian music. Refreshments and a silent auction. Thank you.
Good morning, Reverend Rosemary here. I'm a dead giveaway. I wear the robe and the stole. I was talking to Deborah, and it's like, I'm the minister here, and she said, I can tell. Reverend Rosemary, pronouns she, her, and I'm just going to tag on to what Audrey was just talking about, and that this afternoon is part of Interfaith Harmony Week. It's their last event of the week, and it's going to be pretty great. So it's with the Interfaith Center. My announcement is regarding the little handbills that are on your seats. Next Sunday in the evening, next Sunday's a big day. So we have a family-friendly service in the morning with baked potatoes and all the fun things that go with that right afterwards. And then in the evening, Andrew Glover will be joining us for a Jazz Vespers service. What that means is that it will be a quiet candlelight service in the evening with premier piano player, jazz piano player, Andrew Glover. It should be a delight for body, mind, spirit, ears, eyes, and soul. A time to refresh and renew and be delighted in the virtuosic jazz piano playing of Andrew Glover, and I'd like to invite you all to that. That's it. I would like to start off the service by acknowledging that we respectfully acknowledge that we are located on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional gathering place for diverse Indigenous peoples, including Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Anishinaabe, Inuit, and many others whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community. We ask now that you take a moment to ensure your cell phones and noise-emitting devices are silenced. We are glad to have you with us this morning, and we hope that you find something in the service today that nourishes your spirit and helps you keep your balance. We will now open the service with a prelude. Thank you, Gordon. Next, we'll move to our chalice lighting. And as is my tradition, I've last minute picked on Marilyn to come up and help us with the chalice lighting. Who You Are Enriches Us All by Monica Jacobson-Tennessen. Welcome. What you bring, who you are, enriches us all. We say welcome to your joy, your hope, your pride. We say welcome to your grief, your fear, your anger, and the parts of you that are not ready to be seen or heard. Welcome to them all. For we are people of faith, faith in our expansive welcome, faith in our ability to grow, faith in the precious gifts of our truths, faith in the promise of trying, learning, changing, faith in our capacity to know ourselves and each other deeply. Welcome to you who are gay, straight, bi, pan, lesbian, queer, questioning, unable to be contained in any word. Welcome to you who are trans, cis, genderqueer, non-binary, intersex, agender, and beyond words. Welcome to you who are human. Welcome to you who love and are loved. Welcome to you who are blessed, which is all of you. May this time together be a blessing. Thanks, Marilyn. And now we'll sing our first hymn, number 389, Gathered Here. The text, yeah, there it is, right behind me as it should be. So please join me as you're willing and able in singing hymn 389.
Thank you. So this is a round. How many know this well? All right, but you guys are outnumbering these guys. You'll sing loud, okay? Let's see if we could get somebody on that mic that knows it really well as well, and we'll have some help leading this. Okay, Teresa. Thank you. All right. Okay, just a touch slower, I think. All right. So we're going to sing it through once more, all together. And then, thank you, Andrew, for moving over. Andrew's got a good, strong, booming voice. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we're going to sing it through once more, all together. And then this side is going to start. And gathered here in the presence, gathered here in one strong body, and that's when you guys come in the second, third gathered. Okay? Whew, that made me dizzy. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the miracle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the hour, Spirit draw near, Spirit draw near. Did that work out? Yeah. More or less. All right. Next time you can do it without the mic. We'll do it without the microphone. See how you do. I think I'm on next too, aren't I? Yeah. Thank you. You want to give me the mic? Or you can just put back on the thingy. It's all so confusing. Here, let me help you. Thank you. Again, my name is Reverend Rosemary Morrison, and it is my pleasure and honor to serve this congregation, the Unitarian Church of Edmonton. This month we are exploring inclusion and the concept of inclusion. For the rest of this month, Coriolis started us out with the Coriolis service earlier this month, last Sunday, in fact, yeah, it's Sundays that we meet. So, but what does inclusion actually mean? Well, this service will attempt to answer that question. But for opening words, I'm going to read The Sacred by Reverend Dr. David Breeden. Welcome all to this place of love and justice, this place where we attempt to live up to humanity's highest ideals and highest hopes. Do we fail? Yes, we do, often. Do we try again? Yes, we do, always, because we are people looking out for each other, all others, and the planet. Welcome to this place of love and justice, to this gathering where the sacred and the holy are our being together. The sacred and the holy is here with us as we are here together. For all that is our life, so inclusion involves the entirety of our lives. Hymn number 128, the words are, I can see the flash of light behind me, so I know there's words up there. For all that is our life, hymn number 128, please rise in body or in spirit as you are able.
Sharing our abundance. One of the purposes of this church community is to encourage all who gather here to grow more generous in spirit and action. In addition to supporting this community, we also make a monthly commitment to the wider community. 1/2 of all the unidentified cash that is received is given to an outside organization. For the month of September, we are supporting iHuman Youth Society, which is a leading nonprofit organization dedicated. I have the wrong one. I'm sorry. Okay, so CUC we're donating to this time. I don't know where I got iHuman from, but anyway, well, we support the Canadian Unitarian Church and then the council for all the good work that they do and that they help us. So, anything to add? I'm whipping that one out of my there. For those in the sanctuary, you can use the envelopes found in the inside cover of the hymn nook. If you wish to receive a tax receipt for your gift, please indicate on the envelope your contact information so we can send you a tax receipt at the end of the year. Many of our members and friends give monthly or annually through automatic withdrawal from their accounts. For those of you online, we encourage you to visit the CUC or website to make a donation. The offering, when it's ready, will be received. Thank you, Yvonne and Art. Please join with me in singing From You I Receive. This month, our hymn of the month is Belonging by Christopher New. And I would invite you to stand again as you're willing or able. And also,
If we could have some choir members come to the microphone to lead this song. It was introduced last week at the Coriolis service. I also, oh, look at this. Isn't that lovely? I joined them, but I don't know it. So I'll turn my mic off. To our choir members, that was lovely. Just as you are accepted. Wow. That is a lovely, powerful, and amazing thing. Like, just me? With all my flaws and lumps and bumps and dents, I'm accepted for who I am? Nothing can quite make a person feel more valued than acceptance by others. Well, except perhaps when they realize who they are, good and bad, and accept themselves. Now, we could sit here and argue which comes first, or which is better, the chicken or the egg, being accepted by self or others. But here's what I've come to believe. Neither comes first. Not really.
They work in synergy with each other. Right? Okay, let me give you a sort of small example here. It's not real big picture as in gender and race and sexual orientation. It's smaller than that. Now, I am a big picture kind of person. Details, they escape me, which is kind of terrifying when you think about my career choices in public safety, but I digress. Some would call it a visionary, and others might call it a bull in a china shop type of attitude. Now, early on in my career, way back in my 20s, as a fresh grad, fresh out of school, who knew everything, you know the type. I had a boss, and I did not gel with her. She was a real hard ass. I mean, she was just a real pain in my butt. When I wanted to do something, she was one of those detailed people. I would tell her an idea or run something past her, and she would have to hum and haw. She would meticulously write everything down and look at all the what-if scenarios. She would think about it and consider it. Sometimes to me, it would seem painfully obvious. Point A, point B. You know, we just do it. We get out there, we deal with it. If something doesn't work out, oh well, there's somebody, IT or something, who can fix that. You know that bull in the china shop type attitude I mentioned? Yeah. But she would slow it down. She would look at those details. And you know what? Damned if she wasn't right sometimes. Or she would catch something, yeah. But I still wasn't fully convinced. I didn't accept her process. It was time-consuming and it was cumbersome. But a little later on, it wasn't until I met the girl next door. She's the super aggravating one, with all the planning and thinking and details. I mean, the first time I met this woman, we were both about 5 months pregnant, and she had a rhubarb plant in her back alley. She looks at, what do you do with all this rhubarb? I just don't know anymore. What do you bake? And I said, well, I don't really bake or cook. She goes, oh, well, I'm working on a new sewing project. I don't really sew. Well, what do you do? I'm pretty good with a glass of wine on my couch reading trash magazines, but that's besides the point. We ended up on mat leave together, twice. The second time it was planned. Because over time I realized I needed her details. She kept us on time for play dates with groups and who was bringing what. But here's the thing. She accepted me for not knowing those details. And just as equally, she needed me for those spontaneous play dates, those spur of the moment, throw the kids in the car and let's get out of here type of dates. No details. It was during this mat leave that I finally accepted, yeah, I wasn't a detailed person. And more than that, it was okay. I accepted, as my annoying neighbor girl showed me, my big picture attitude wasn't necessarily a flaw, but it did lack balance. Detailed people aren't my enemy, they are my friends. After mat leave, I went back to work and I started to see my boss in a new light. I mean, she was still a real hard ass, but overall, her details balanced my big picture, and our relationship improved immensely. Now, I know this seems kind of like a silly example, but if you look at the overall concept, you can apply it. If I can accept myself for who I am, flaws, dents, and all, and if I can accept those same things seen as flaws by me, others may see them as assets, then I too can return that acceptance. Acceptance of those where I maybe once saw their differences as flaws, I now accept them for what they are: valuable balance and synergy. Acceptance of my own abilities allows me to more readily accept those who are opposite me, who I may not have freely and lovingly accepted before. It was Buddha who said we hate in others what we hate in ourselves. So maybe, if we can love instead of hate ourselves for who we are, we can instead love others for who they are too. Just a thought. Oh, and that annoying girl next door? Almost 20 years later, she still keeps me on track, Her rhubarb muffin recipe has saved me more than once, and our 2 daughters are still BFFs after all this time. Seems acceptance of our differences kind of worked out pretty well. And now I ask you to join me in a responsive reading. 442, we bid you welcome by Richard S. Gilbert. And I will read the bolded font, and you guys will read the italicized font. We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest.
Who come with troubles that are too much for you, who come hurt and afraid.
We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart.
Who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous.
We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new faith.
Who come to grow and explore, who come to learn.
We bid you welcome, who enter this hall as homecoming.
Who have found here room for your spirit, who find in this people a family.
Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey.
We bid you welcome.
And now we are going to have a little video.
See how this works. Lea Morris came to my attention during COVID. She started putting out a lot of music that, and with kind of blanket permission to use it in our online services. And I just think she's wonderful. And I know that Gordon, one of our choir directors, has put a lot of her music into choir music, and that they're singing quite a few of her songs. He's arranged quite a few of her things. And weirdly, one time when I bought one of her songs, she emailed me, like not her business, but her. She lives in Germany, and she said, "Dear Rosemary, this is Lea, the real Lea, not my people." And since then, we've actually been having some back and forth conversation, of which I feel very honored and pleased to have be in conversation with her. And I wrote to her about this service and said, I'm going to be using your song. Your words are going to be the title of the service, and the words to this song are going to be one of my readings, and I'm going to be referring to it. And she was very, very pleased, and wanted me to give you her warm regards and her gratitude for our support. Just as you are, without changing a thing, just as you are, I accept you. I see you. I hear you. I welcome you in, just as you are. Just as you are. Powerful words. Second reading this morning is by Reverend Victoria Safford. When we talk about hospitality here, about radical hospitality that goes to the very root of who we are as a gathered religious community and what we're called to be, we mean that we will welcome not only each person, whoever they are, whatever their gifts, whatever their need, but each person in their wholeness, their holiness which may in fact in any moment be full of holes and contradictions, full of fear and brokenness and doubts. Come in, we say, not just in the full flower of your thriving, but in your loneliness, in your confusion, in your anger, in your shame and despair, the unfinished, imperfect, holy wholeness of your being. Come in not only with your all apparent accomplishments and strengths, but with those pesky vulnerabilities. These may, in fact, be revelations. They may be glimpses of whatever humanity we share. This house will hold them all, will hold us all. It's beautiful writing, isn't it? Many years ago, when I first arrived at Vancouver School of Theology, I was really sad to have missed the Reverend Dr. Wendy Fletcher's class, Radical Hospitality. She left VST, she was the president and did some teaching right after she taught that class. And I have forever been left wondering, what did she mean by radical hospitality? Well, I'm not exactly sure what she meant by radical hospitality because I didn't get to take the class, and back then we didn't record classes. So I never did find out. But in my reading and thinking about it, I'm going to share with you what I've come up with. Radical hospitality differs from regular hospitality in a number of ways. In regular hospitality, we arrive at a dinner, event, church service, or a friend's house ready to be fed, to be entertained, to be inspired or enlightened without really having to put in too much effort. In radical hospitality, instead of the host or team driving the event, everyone that arrives is responsible for the success of the event. This creates inclusive and equitable opportunities and space for everyone to show up as their authentic selves and allow themselves to be seen. We hear you. We see you. Allow yourself to be seen. They don't just have to accept what is being offered. They are invited to co-create, enliven, and enrich the dinner, event, church service. But Reverend Rosemary, you might say, you've already created the service. I don't have to do anything. I just have to show up sometimes. My presence won't matter here nor there. If I'm here, that's fine. If I'm not, that's fine. Won't make a difference. Well, if you think about that for just a sec, you're not right. Just so you know, you're wrong about that. But of course, I'm putting words into your mouth, so your presence does matter. As we've discussed a few times, it's impossible to be a passive observer. Think quantum physics. Quantum tells us that the event is changed by each person that is here. No one is a passive observer. Your presence changes the event. And my experience of the event changes with each person that I look down and see here. Each person that is here changes the event for each and every one of us, including me. You co-create the service with your energy, with your singing, with your every conversation you have or don't have with someone you know or don't know very well or have never met. I need to get a drink. Radical hospitality that results in a more inclusive atmosphere is based on intentionality. So the difference between regular hospitality and radical hospitality is our intention. If we are intentional about bringing our whole selves and being authentic, singing out, being friendly to people that we don't know or who maybe aren't our favorites, that kind of bug us, those detail people, I am with you, sister. Holy smokes. Anyways, there's a few people in here that will know exactly what I'm talking about. So if we do these things, if we're friendly to all the people that we know, don't know, who aren't our favorites, we change the energy and the experience. As Victoria Stafford wrote, it is important that we arrive with our vulnerabilities, our frailties, our insecurities, and our brokenness. It's very important that we arrive not as shiny. If we decide to show up with a facade of how together we are, or keeping our hearts guarded, or wearing a mask so that no one can see that we're hurting, we won't be able to provide radical hospitality to one another. We won't be able to see our own brokenness and imperfections reflected back at us. And we will simply feel alone because we cannot live up to, we have snow clearing happening right now, so I'm going to start that sentence over again. I'm going to get a drink. So no one will trip at that door. We're going out. So I'm going to just back that up just a bit. So, as Victoria Stafford wrote, it is important that we arrive with our vulnerabilities, our frailties, our insecurities, and our brokenness. If we decide to show up with a facade of how together we are, or if we keep our hearts guarded, or we wear a mask so that no one can see that we're hurting, we won't be able to provide radical hospitality to one another. We won't be able to see our brokenness and imperfections reflected back at us, and we will simply feel alone because we can't live up to that fake, shiny mirror. If we wish to co-create a space that is inclusive, that is hospitable, loving, kind the operative word, and fun, we have to empower one another to exchange ideas in a respectful manner, which we do for the most part, be on equal footing, and to understand that this community, that these Sunday services belong to us all. They belong to you. You are responsible for them. We get to decide how it will be for you, and not only that, the decision you make means that you take action and are responsible for how things feel here. It boils down to the Maya Angelou quote about how we never remember what someone does, but we always remember how they make us feel, right? I'm sure we can all think of examples of people that have made us feel in particular ways, and we don't let go of that, but we don't remember what it was that they did that made us feel that way. How do you think your actions and words make others feel? Are you intentional about making sure that your actions and words make others feel welcome, seen, heard, accepted, just as they are? Is there kindness and openness in all of your conversations with others before and after the service? And just if you're new here, we put the coffee on pretty early, and there's coffee, tea, and cookies and things early, and lots of people come early and visit before the service. So just so you know, that's a secret handshake. Do you understand that your presence is required so that others can benefit from you being here, either in person or online? I'll say it again. If you're not here, it changes the experience for everyone, including me. Going to church isn't about you. Weird thing to say, I know. It's about intentionally creating radical and inclusive hospitality for everybody else.
So sometimes you come to church because someone might need you to be there and share a burden with you, have a cup of tea with you. Lea Morris's song, Just As You Are, says that we don't have to change a thing to be welcome and acceptable. I want to dig in a little bit about what that welcome might look like. She says, I see you, I hear you, I welcome you in just as you are. Is she saying that I notice you, I'm interested in what you have to say, even if it's different from my own ideas? Yes. There's a saying on the front of this month's newsletter and the saying is by Angel Kyoto Williams Sensei. Inclusivity is not how do we make you a part of what we are. Kind of like the Borg, assimilation is futile. But how do we become more of what you are? How do we learn from you? Learn and grow and change. That really alludes to what we are talking about this morning. Every time we gather, we are different. And if we are actually and truly welcoming, we won't be asking anyone to change. We welcome you in just as you are. We're not going to try to assimilate you, make you like us. Rather, we would like to get to know about you and how you think and feel so that we can become better with your influence. Taking that even one step further, we can look to this thing called preemptive radical inclusion. It's in our Soul Matters packet this month, is where I got this from. Reverend David Matthew Johnson talks about this idea, and he says, preemptive radical inclusion, a concept articulated among Unitarian Universalists by the religious educator C.B. Beale, is not an outcome, but as C.B. says, it is a doorway to justice. By taking actions in advance which center the needs of those marginalized, you move toward a more beloved community. It really is about putting love into practice. Cornel West says, if justice is what love looks like in public, then inclusion is what love looks like in groups. Centering the needs of those marginalized. What does that look like? What does that mean? Well, when I was working in the school system with kids of all ability as well as parenting children of all abilities, I would be constantly looking out for them. I'd be wondering where they're being left out. What is going on that they might not understand? Are the instructions too vague? Are there secret handshakes? I just named one of ours. Secret handshakes I need to teach them. I would be constantly looking out for the barriers that kept them from participating fully and work toward removing those barriers. What barriers do you think there might be here for newcomers? Are there secret handshakes? You bet there are. Do people know how to get involved if they want to? Are we making room for people to get involved? Are we practicing radical hospitality, which means we are being intentional about how inviting we are? Is there any room for improvement on any of these fronts? As C.B. Beale says, that if we wish to practice preemptive radical inclusion, we have to change. C.B. says that it's a lifelong practice, not a thing to do, but a way to perceive and to explore. It is a way to examine privilege, to take responsibility, set aside control, and work for justice. That's a lot. Let's break it down just a bit. Examine privilege. That means thinking about all the things that come easy for us. Mobility, gender, financial means, the color of our skin, our attractiveness, our intelligence, our level of education, the things about us that we take for granted that have smoothed out the path for us. And maybe others do not have access to. Their path might not be quite as smooth. Well, take responsibility. We all know what that means. In order for this or any congregation to be successful, each and every person has to take responsibility for the success of the congregation. We have to show up on Sunday mornings, support the other events with our presence so that they are fun and successful, and support financially as best we can. As my colleague Teresa Soto says, all of us need all of us to make it. CB mentions control. Control comes out of the phrase, but that's how we've always done it. That's control. Or that's not how we've always done it. Control means that we get to have things to do, the things that we want to do, we get to do them our way. The opposite of control is collaboration and compromise. And I think that we can all agree that collaboration and compromise results in other important words: creativity, ownership, and fun. CB's last point was work for justice. Taking Matthew Johnson's words, if justice is what love looks like in public, then inclusion is what love looks like among groups. So justice in groups means that everyone gets to participate. The obstacles are removed as best we can for full inclusion, but first we have to identify the obstacles, and we have to do the personal work to allow ourselves to not just accept, but celebrate and love those who are not like us. The things that we don't like, as Brandy pointed out, the things that we don't like about other people are actually the things we don't like about ourselves. So there's always a room full of people to help you personally and spiritually grow. Aren't you lucky? The scary part in doing so is that we will be changed. The super scary part of that is that we will be changed. The exciting part of that is that we will be changed. The important part of that is that we will be changed. The loving part in that is, in doing so, will be that we will. For if we become more loving, more accepting, more inclusive, more hospitable, what's going to happen? We will be changed. And making those changes will be the most important thing we as a congregation have ever done. May we have the courage and the strength to live into these changes. So may it be. Amen. Just going to leave you for a moment just to sit and contemplate, and then we're going to move into our meditation time. I invite you to let go of all the words, to focus in on yourself, to take a few deep breaths, to become aware of your own body, your own spirit. Some have said that we are a human we have a human body with a spiritual experience. I heard not too long ago that we are a spirit being entrusted with a human body. I invite you to look after your human Relax. Breathe into your body. Let the chair hold you. Feel the gravity pull you as your muscles let go. I'm going to reread Lea Morris's words and invite you into some silence. And after that, we are going to sing hymn number 352, Find a Stillness. Just as you are, without changing a thing, just as you are, I accept you. I hear you. I see you. With all your frailties and vulnerabilities and all your brokenness and all your anxieties and all your have-to-do lists that aren't getting done and all your mindless scrolling through reels. I hear you. I see you. I welcome you in, just as you are. Just as you are. I invite you into a minute or two of silence, after which Gordon will bring us out. And in this spirit of quiet contemplation, I invite you to take part in our weekly time of lighting candles of joy and concern. These candles represent the humanness, the brokenness, the joyfulness, the beauty that is within you, within your lives, and within all you know. The tables are open. I invite you to light candles of joy and concern. Candle for all those joys and concerns that remain in our hearts, that we hold dear, maybe still too fragile to even light. I would also like to thank the folks online for putting their joys and concerns into the chat. It adds so much. Thank you.
Our final hymn today is number 131, Love Will Guide Us. Please join us in singing hymn 131. And now, is our tradition, we will extinguish the flame, and I'll call upon Marilyn again to extinguish it for us. To Make New Shapes by Reverend Rod Richards. May we practice sacred flexibility, letting go of geometric purity when it comes to our circles, so that we are unafraid to draw them wider, stretch them longer, and find joy in the task of rearranging. Let us be fearless in our willingness to make new shapes so that we may be accountable to people who have not found us yet. So we may welcome those who thirst for our healing message, so that we may engage with our people and our partners, the work before us, to save our lives as citizens and human beings. Go forth and make new shapes. Thank you, Marilyn.
And as we end our service, I would like to thank everyone who participated, who contributed, the tech folks, music folks, setting up chairs, taking down chairs, putting out candles, taking down candles, all the things. Snow clearing. There has been snow clearing. The timing might be slightly off, but that's okay. Details. And friends, let us take heart in the words of Matthew Johnson. If justice is what love looks like in public, then inclusion is what love looks like among groups. May we strive each day to be more loving, more kind, and more inclusive. Go in peace, gentle people. Go in peace. Amen. Thank you for being here again. Thank you for being online. Let us sing our linking song as we close our service, Carry the Flame. If you're new or visiting, we make a weird circle thingy, a new shape. The words are up here.